Hello my sexy compatriots, this is the cup of coffee you all know and love, Minty Coffee, and I am here with another casual commentary. The topic of today's video, as the title suggests, the inconsistency of Pyro's DPS with the flamethrower. I'll be going over the flamethrower's primary method of fire and air blasting individually to explain why Pyro's DPS, in my opinion, is inconsistent at best and unreliable at worst. One thing to remember is that the dependence of good ping is present on Pyro probably more than any other class, due to high ping affecting particle lifetime and damage thereupon. Though I won't go over ping dependency too much in this video since it's basically as simple as that. Pyro's flamethrower has a lovely max DPS of 163.5 per second. While not on the level of the minigun, it is formidable when paired with Pyro's mobility and the ability to jump and air blast at the same time, while a heavy would be spun up, slow and vulnerable. However, the one thing that makes the flamethrower's DPS inconsistent is its range. Well, not so much that the range is too much or too little, but that the range of the weapon is hard to decipher. Let's take a look at Pyro firing the flamethrower. As we can see, the flames spurt out in a cone at a moderately close to mid-distance, so you'd think that the range reaches just to the end of this cone, right? Well, actually no. The individual particles' hitboxes travel much further than you'd think. This side view shows best how much further they actually travel past the range of what we can see, which is both unfairly deceiving to enemies, but also detrimentally annoying to the user, because the fact that you're lighting people outside of your flamethrower's visible range makes it hard to get used to its actual range. This is something that definitely needs to be fixed and reworked, which I hope will be worked on in the coming Pyro update. On top of fixing the ping dependence in relation to each particle's lifetime and damage, the range of the flamethrower needs to be at least clear enough to know where its endpoint is. Despite still firing in a tight cone, the cone is a lot further reaching than the visible flames project, and as such can confuse and mislead both users and enemies. As for air blasts, it's a bit more complicated. With air blasts, there's a couple of issues, primarily though with the air blast's hitbox. Air blasts protrude from the flamethrower's air pipe in a box that measures 256 by 256 by 128 hammer units. Already, you can guess that the box being pretty big for an air blast makes air blasting projectiles that fly above your head or completely past the side of you quite easy. Because the hitbox is an AABB style hitbox, it also projects just a slight bit behind the Pyro, being why air blasts from behind can occur, or the accursed 180 reflect, in which a projectile in front of you goes behind, because the air blast hitbox registered the projectile just behind the Pyro. Of course, ping does also affect this, but it's primarily the air blast type of hitbox that can lead to some odd results. Personally, I think air blast should work like the flames and be in a cone in front of the Pyro, though of course much wider since it's a puff of air and not just a tight cone of flames. Having a concise hitbox that registers only in front of the Pyro would mean air blasts are more consistent and less random, as much as 180 reflex make me laugh. What do you think about my ideas on fixing flames in air blast? Think flames are fine as they are or need a change? What about air blast? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. This has been your favourite cup of coffee, and as always, I shall see you next time, my sexy compatriots. Bye!
I am the man who arranges the blocks that continue to fall from up above. The food on your plate now belongs to the state, a collective regime of peace and love.